Hi, I'm Tracey L. Fisher, and this is a reentry point of view. And our guest today is Corporal Christina Linder. How you doing?
I'm all right in yourself.
Oh wow! Let me just get right into it. I came home May 22nd, 2012, and May 24th, 2012, I seen a flyer in my door. And it was about cleaning up the community as far as cleanup day out on the streets and stuff. And at the bottom of the flyer was the community relations officer's name, which was Sergeant at the time. Regular officer,
yes.
Officer Christina Linder. So I was like, wow. I said, okay. And I wanted to go to the schools and speak. And I only been home 3 days. So I said, a couple of days. I said, I gotta go to the school. And I remember as a child, the police officers and the fire department used to always go to the school. So that's always stuck with me. So I knew I wasn't going to get into schools any other way, not 440 Broad Street. I wasn't going to go that way. So I contacted her office, and I got Officer Christina. I said, I'm Tracey L. Fisher. I just came home. I need to do this. I want to go into the schools and this and that. So obviously she done heard that 1,000 times. She's like, okay, all right, well listen, we down here at the 19th district and we give away clothes, and she had a drive, a clothes drive, a book bag drive, and all this stuff for the kids if you so interested in school. So just come through. So I said, okay. So I show up, and they had the whole front lobby filled with all these donated clothes and book bags and shoes, and the mothers was outside with shopping carts lined up. I said, wow, here you have a police department trying to help get rid of poverty in the community, which at the time you see bad reports on police officers. So I'm like, wow. So I went in there and I met Officer Christina Linder, and she saw who I was, and we decided to work together. She took me to Overbrook Elementary School. That was the first one I ever went to. And we got there, and it was called the Dream Your Dream Tour. So here you have an ex-offender going back to the police district that locked him up in the first place in 1989, come home in 2012 saying, I want to go and help the kids. And she takes me into the schools with her. She never, ever saw me with the children, but she said she saw my passion. And I go in there, and we started teaching the kids, and we started having them screaming at the top of their lungs after I finished talking to them, dream your dream, dream your dream. And I never forget that moment. Mm-hmm. Corporal Christina Linder walks up to me and said, yeah, this will work. And that was so beautiful, because then she lined up all the principals from all the high schools in West Philadelphia and Southwest and brought them to the district and allowed me to go do a presentation where they made a list where every Friday, that's how the Dream Your Dream Tour got started. Every Friday we had a school to go to. Every Friday. Then she moved up in the world. She got big time on. She wasn't a regular old peon officer now. She started giving out orders, so they had to get a new community relations officer, which was okay, but she wasn't Officer Christina Linder, because I got spoiled, because she was on time, she dot I's, she crossed T's, there was no cancellations and none of that. This is how we do it. And it got to the point we were so good at it, she'd just go in now and just say, listen, if you don't listen to him, you got to deal with me. And then put me on. And it was really literally working. Then she moved to, what district you go to?
Second district.
The second district. I let her take it from there.
Well, pretty much what Tracey said was the truth. What I had liked about him, the first school that we went to, I was starting to get tired. Going to the kids, don't do drugs, watch out for strangers, repeat it. So I was getting to a point where I needed something different. So when we actually spoke on the phone at that time, I was like, no, come on through. I was actually feeding the homeless that particular in July. That was our Christmas in July program. And we sat down, and the school came up. We went to the school. At that particular time, we was promoting safety with guns. So I did my spiel about the guns, and if you see a gun on the street, what should you do? And it was okay, the kids accepted, but it was the same old boring reaction. So I said, I got a friend here, Tracey L. Fisher. He's going to speak to you about his lifestyle. So when he got up there, he was on point. And I was just blown away, like, yo, I'm glad I went first, because if he would have went first, I wouldn't have went at all. And the passion that the kids picked up on him with chanting Dream Your Dream, and the kids came up there, and when he spoke to the kids, and they'll say, oh, I want to be a designer, he didn't just accept that as their statement. He was more of a, well, what have you done to know what you need to have in relation to get to that position? And he encouraged them and told them, well, you may be designing my clothes, you know, and that's what I had loved about it. Then we had went to Beaver Middle School, and that was one of our problem schools in the area. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is not gonna go off well. But we went there, the kids was there, very responsive. He spoke to him, he told him that somebody gave him a call that morning and told him he shouldn't go to school because the kids wouldn't listen. And he said he didn't listen to it, and he came. There was one girl there who said she wanted to be a lawyer. And you can't tell Tracey you want to be something, and then that's just this. He said, well, come up here and convince me why I should have came to your school. So the young lady was scared, and she didn't know how to respond, so she got quiet. But what I loved about that day, those kids supported her. And they was like, you can do it, Tawana, you can do it. And then she presented herself, said why he was supposed to come, and it got very emotional at that time. But that's not new, that me and Tracey's gonna be a team, and we're gonna go through these schools and give them a different message. And that's what they need, a different message. The same old stuff, don't do drugs, watch out for the weapons. You have to know from someone who's been through it and had that passion how it's going to turn out. This is something that needs to be in the schools. I'm even trying to get them where I'm at now in the 2nd District to come to different high schools up there just to come and speak to them. Even though I'm not in West Philadelphia, I've been there for 20 years. I love the district, and moving was different for me, but it's the same issues regardless of where they are.
Yeah. And actually, you're at the 2nd District now. Where's that located at?
That's at Harbison and Levitt.
Wow. Now, what does your job consist of, other than being a police officer? And what is your details?
Well, I'm a corporal now, so I'm a supervisor. I'm the lowest supervisor in the police department. I'm pretty much responsible for the operations room and making sure everything runs smoothly. My main job is when those reports come in, whatever type of job that was taken on the street, to make sure it's coded correctly and to make sure the 40 is reading the proper way so it can get the proper attention that it needs to receive. So that's it in a nutshell. But I do a little bit of everything. I miss the community relation part of it, but it's in me. So when someone comes to that window, I get on my officers, don't be sitting. Because that could be your mother, your father, someone at that window, and I want you to give that person that respect and address it quickly.
Well, now I know you personally, but my audience does not.
Okay.
But the question I ask is because I need them to know this. How do you feel about the image of the police officer now in the urban community?
Right now, presently, it needs a lot of help. From a personal aspect, you have to, it starts at home. So however you're taught at home, it's the same image you're going to put out there regardless of what uniform you have on. And I respect people. I'm a people person. So when an individual comes to it, even if they come to the window and they need assistance and my people are busy, whatever it may be, I may go to the window and I'll make sure that people receive the information that they need. Some people may just want to talk to you. So you have to give them that ear and give them the right information. They're coming to us because they need help or resources. Give them that information to move forward. There's a lot of training that's needed. If it's not in a person's heart, the training doesn't mean anything. You're taught, be respectful. If you want respect, give respect. But if you just have this air about yourself that you're better than the individual, regardless of the situation, that training means nothing.
Wow. And who's in charge of the training?
Well, we do have a training bureau. They do go through the state, and it's delegated of what's going to be taught. So based on everything that's been going on in the past couple of years, we are getting trained on how to encounter people and have that interaction with different people, but it's on different levels.
And I noticed, especially in southwest and west area, that crime has really risen because of the heroin and so forth like that in the community. How is that affecting the officers?
Well, in that aspect of it, what they recently started, we were trained on how to save an individual's life, if we happen to encounter an overdose situation. So we have the opium remedy, I can't think of the exact name of it, that we're trained to actually help and assist in that aspect of it. So it's not a situation of waiting for the medics to come.
Right.
That we're there to assist. And that aspect of it, that's how it's being addressed in the police department community right now.
Now, I spoke to an officer before him and I are pretty cool. He said one of the things that's very funny to him, but not in a funny, but just funny, he said it's times where he done saw individuals that look at him strange or don't like him or whatever situation may be, and then soon as they in trouble, they'll reach out and embrace you and you their best friend, and you trying to figure out, well, this was the same person who wanted to kill me back then. You ever run into that?
I haven't.
But you heard about it?
I have heard about it. But when you need help, it doesn't matter who's helping you. You want that help. So whatever issues you may have prior to that, you're going to forget about it.
How many corporals, women, are there in Philadelphia Police Department that you know of?
That I know of,
Right.
it's quite a bit. But in high ranking, we have a lot of female officers. We have inspectors, I can't get specific names, chief inspectors. So the women in high rank in the police department has increased over the past couple of years.
Wow. So do you plan on moving up?
I'm comfortable right now.
You comfortable?
I'm comfortable
You
right
know
now.
I'm not going for that.
I know you're not going for it.
I'm not going
I
for
mean,
that.
my next step will be sergeant.
Yeah.
But I'm a people person, so what I'm doing, I'm with the people. I like being a sergeant. It's a different skill.
Right, because you behind the scenes more, or what?
You're behind the scenes. Where I'm at, I'm inside. Not that I'm afraid for outside, because
Right.
I had to start there to get to this particular
Right.
point. But I'm a hands-on person. I'm responsible for things that need to get done. If it has to get done, it comes through me. Same thing with the sergeants. With the sergeant, they can pass it off to the corporal.
Right.
Say, hey, we need this to take care of it. I just like my hands-on and being involved and keeping. I'm a control freak.
I remember about a month ago, I was up by 67th and Hereford, and I was coming from out of the shop right around there, and there was some young guys out there, and they was being a little disruptive, but adolescents.
Right.
And I saw them, and I went up to them, and I was talking to them. The police has already been called, we didn't know. And one of the young ladies came, and she's one of my Facebook friends, which I didn't know either.
Okay.
And she saw me talking to him. And to the guys, we shook hands, and they actually left, went about their business. And I gave them my card. And she got out the car, and she said, hey, you really do this. And I looked, right? And I'm like, yeah. She said, no, we get a lot of people, right, that says this, and So I mentioned you, because every time I run into anybody in the 19th district, I mention you.
Right.
You have a sister there.
Yes.
Right, but I got to tell them, no, corporal.
Yes.
Right. But what I say that to say this, they respect you.
Beautiful.
Because that's character. That's when you bring stuff to the table. When people respect you, when you're no longer there, that's that legacy you left there. Do it the right way. Make people want to come and be able to talk to you and open up to you, because you can't arrest your way out of this.
Nope.
So I understand what you're saying as far as that. But where do you think the community, the urban community, because I know you is really passionate about that, where do you think the urban community is headed right now as far as police relationships, like policing the community?
The policing aspect is getting better. Every district has a community relations officer. Everyone needs to utilize the community relations officer. There are programs within each of the districts that can be utilized to make the community better. Key thing, education, informant. There's a line that they use, an informed person is a prepared person. And that's where I get it from as far as putting it out there for the community. I can't expect my community to function if I don't provide them with the right resources. And if they don't have the right resources, they're not going to function. I don't have all the answers, but if questions come my way, I will get you the answer. And that's what I had liked about it in that capacity, as working with the community. I was able to provide them with the resources and then follow up with it. And like you have our block captains. Excellent tool. When you got the letter. A lot of people do it differently. But in order to keep that block on point with the cleaning, I had to support the block captains. So I drafted up a letter. The Wednesday before that cleaning, put it out there. That day you put the letter out there, call me with the cars that were parked there. The day of the event, call me so I'll know what cars is there that did not move. Then I had to back them up with that and say if I had to go write tickets or whatever the outcome of it was going to be, I followed up and I kept my word and did what needed to be done.
Right.
So you have to have the information available for them. You can't just tell people things and then they're going to take it in and keep it moving. You have to have a connection with them. You have to develop a relationship with them. And I developed a lot of relationships there when I was in the 19th district. Slowly but surely, I'm developing that same rapport on a different level when the people come to the windows at the 2nd district. You know, when they come, they had a conversation at the end, it's like, well, I'm glad you came to the window, you know, or
Right.
I'm glad you helped me out, or I have a better understanding. So you have to have that communication, educate the people, give them the resources, and develop a wholesome relationship with them. Because the better relationships you have with the police department and with the community, everything turns around.
Right.
People become accountable for the area. And that's just it. They don't have the resources to become accountable for the area.
What are the qualifications that is needed to become a police officer?
At this time, they took away the education part of it as far as the college. So you have to be 23 though. They raised the 23, yes. High school diploma and physically fit. And don't ask me the number because I don't know the recruitment number to give it to you, but there is a recruitment going on now.
Right.
Which I can get to you later. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Well, my grandson, he's 8, and he wants to be a police officer.
Interesting.
And at first, I was like, what? Right? And then he said to me, as an innocent child can say, why not, Papa? I said, wow, why not? You know? And so what I do now, right, is everything I get him is a cop car, a badge. He love it. This is what he want to be. Because let me tell you why. His little brother think it's a joke, talking about he want to be a robber. So they play cops and robbers. I said, oh, we gonna stop that. Because I'm not buying him a gun or a ski mask.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen. So, but I'm just saying, because you want to bring back that image, a positive image.
Yes.
Because just like even when I was on the street doing bad, right? I had a good heart, right? But you had some guys that was doing bad and ain't had no good heart.
Right.
Just like in police force.
Yeah.
You got some officers that's pretty good officers. Then you got some ones that's just rotten. And you just mixed in there.
Yes.
And here's where the community has a problem. They need to hear more voice, right, from the black police officers about the white officers acting out. And that's where we have a little problem at. We're like, okay, we know you can't control what people say and do, right? But you sure can speak out on it,
And that's
you know. And that's where. What's your opinion on that?
Yes. Regardless if they're black or white, if you see something that's not correct, you're supposed to speak on it. However you choose to speak on it, you still have to speak on it. If you see something that's not right and is in the middle of something going on, that it needs to be addressed at that point in time, whether afterwards, when you're back at the district, when you get ready to leave, but you have to speak on
Address
it.
it.
You have to address it.
I saw a thing on YouTube where they was at a party. It was officers was called to a house party, whatever, and on the steps, the guys lived there, and a white officer came up and he was harassing them, but his superior officer was a white guy, came up and said, "You're not doing this today." He said they have every right to stand on their steps. They're not violating anything, and it went viral because he just stepped in. You know, and that can save a lot of lives.
Yes.
And a lot of marches, a lot of anger, a lot of trials, and so forth.
Exactly.
You know, because when I was growing up, before I started breaking the law, officers was all right with me.
Right.
Right? Because y'all used to come around, come to the schools, and give us that speech.
Exactly.
Once I start breaking the law, y'all was my conscience. Because now when I see you, oh man, I'm gonna turn left. You done got behind me. Oh, I gotta turn right. Because I'm gonna take you on a chase. I'm gonna tell you that now. Because I ain't had no license.
Right.
I'm not legit. I got drugs in the car, a gun on me. I was begging to go to jail. So, and then when you catch me, I can't stand you.
Right.
But never mind, you got a job to do. But that's the mentality that's out there. Y'all have a dangerous job.
It is definitely a dangerous job.
Y'all have a job where you literally have to wear a bulletproof vest. When you got when a gun and a bulletproof vest is part of your uniform, that's a dangerous. You're not going to work at the donut shop.
No.
You pull a guy over just to tell him his tail light out. But he's on the run. Mm-hmm. He's on America's Most Wanted, and he's an ex-offender, and he ain't got nothing else to lose. And all you doing is walking up to say, "Hey, yo, you need to get that taken care of," and he get to shoot.
That's true.
Now you defend yourself. Here come everybody. It better be a clean shooting. And your body cam didn't work that they paid $1 million for. I'm just saying.
Right.
So, but on that note, though, because I'm going to tell you why, because I got so much love for you. Mm-hmm. And whenever I hear about an officer or something like that, I think of you. Mm-hmm. Because I say they all not like that. Just like when you see a returning citizen now. Oh, he ain't want nothing. He just come home. You think of me. Wait a minute. Hold up now. I know one that ain't like that. It's a give and take. Yes, I know one that's not like that. Like a Councilman Kenyatta Johnson told me. He said, no one can come to his office ever again after meeting me that's coming home from jail and complain about how bad it is out here. He said he known me for 4 years and he hasn't heard me complain one time. That's because he don't live with me.
Right.
But no, reality though, you just accept life for what it is and you keep moving. Yes. And I appreciate what you do. I'm serious. Even if nobody tell you, right, you have a dangerous job and you risk your life every day. Because if somebody was in the mall and started shooting, we running towards you.
Right.
Because that's your job. You're trained to do that. Or let me get the gun. One or the other. Because I'm going to get out of there.
Right.
I'm right behind you. I'm on your floor. I'm on your floor. You know what I mean? We're going to do all that SWAT stuff. Because we got to survive and get out of there. And see, we love y'all when you the resources of helping us. We can't stand y'all when we breaking that law. I'm telling you, you that conscience. Yes, for real. Anybody will tell you when you are conscience. Because when we see them flashing lights get behind us, first thing we want to say, okay, I got my license on me. All right, check. I did pay that insurance, right? All right, everything checked. And that's reality though. Mm-hmm. But now people are afraid of a stop.
Yes.
They're afraid of a stop. Because of what happens when it shouldn't go that far. Because other officers are staying there instead of intervening. Like, hold up, let me go. Like, if you got a white officer with you, right, and I'm pulled over, why he got to come?
Well, usually, whoever's the driver, that's the one that started the initiation and everything.
So whether he white or not. But can you get involved?
Yes, you can.
All right, so if you see that.
Before they,
all right, okay. Yes. So he come up. And you see automatically, I'm not feeling him.
Right.
So you the sister now. You got to come up, Negro. What are you doing running that light?
And that's how I know. For me, when I was on the street and on patrol, and I did car stops, I didn't come off nasty. And like, did you just see what you just did? And then it always was an encounter. Now people would say, "Oh, well, you too friendly. That's a dangerous situation." I'm still on point of what needs to be done if it got crazy like that, but. Whatever could have happened, I just been lucky. I never came across that particular person. I just been lucky. And, then it melts down the whole unnecessary tension.
Right.
And then in that whole thing, you probably not even going to get a ticket. Just be mindful of what you did, depending on what took place.
Right.
And even going back to the kids in the school and the education part of it, when we had a situation in the 19th, it was a video out there of an individual being beaten by an officer.
Wow.
And the whole thing was the encounter part of it. So what we did was we went to the schools. Well, we hosted a night, I think it was at Global Leadership Charter School. We went there and we had, we did reverse roles. So the kids that was there, we let them be the cops, we with them. We act like the kids.
Wow.
So it was like, now they see themselves. Then we went back and did what needed to take place so they understood. When you encounter in that type of encounter, these are things you need to do. You can ask questions, but just follow the orders at that moment so you can get past that situation.
Let me ask you this. You have, in my audience, you have a lot of individuals that has a high percentage chance of being stopped by the police. Okay. What are the first 3 things that they should do to survive the stop?
Make sure the officers be able to see your hands. Everything is yes, yes sir, yes ma'am. Give them what they ask for. And then if you feel as though that you're being mistreated, the ideal thing you can pay attention to, they always have a badge. And then even after that part, when the encounter is over with, the police officer usually let the police officer leave before you. They have a car that they're riding in. That car has a number on it. Pay attention to the location that you're in and the time frame. So if you feel as though you need to make a complaint about what took place, you have the right information to provide to myself when you come to the district or anyone in that position so they can initiate it or give you the right information of where to go. So use your eyes, be calm. Yes, it's a stressful and fearful situation, but just be visible, let them follow the orders, and then keep it moving.
So at that point, they're the authority, and you can deal with them in your day in court.
Yes. And they
So
don't have
you
to go that
survive
far.
the
Because in some situations, if it did get out of hand and they were disrespectful to a point where it was just out of control, you have that option of actually speaking with the captain in that particular district.
Well, like I did, and wound up
Exactly.
teaching orientation there.
Yes.
They pulled me over. They stopped me, gave me a $300 ticket, right? What was crazy. I talked to the officer, Christina. He said, well, let's go to the captain. I went to the captain, explained to him who I am, what I am. I know him, though, what was going on. And he was like, really? I was like, really? And I said, I'm pushing this. And the community relationship officer called. Well, why was you filming them anyway? Because my phone got a camera on it. I can do what I want to do. Oh, all right. I said, okay, I see what they're trying to do. I went back to the captain. I said, this is the last time I'm coming here. Next time it'd be Fox News, Channel 3, 10, and everybody else I help in this community. And he called me that Monday and said, come in, and I addressed both shifts on orientation. And even the ones that stopped me had to stand up in formation, literally, and why I addressed them. How they have to treat human beings and so forth. So you never know who you stopping, officers. You know, I'm just really realistically speaking. Exactly. You never know who you stopping. And now my car on my license plate has reentry on it. So now they already know. They be like, oh, that's okay, all right. That's the guy had me at attention.
Right.
Yeah, but not bragging, but it's just truth. I pushed it because most people I found out will file a complaint but won't pursue it.
True.
And that's why they was like, man, you're really on this, yeah. Because they're not going to keep stopping me. If I'm out here risking my life like you, I ain't no officer. I ain't doing no car stops, but I'm talking to ones with guns. I'm saying, let's put the guns down. Let's put the drugs down. Let's try to find you some work or mental health or so forth or whatever. So on that note, I'm going to close out. I want to thank Corporal Christina Linder for coming. She already, you run into her, you in trouble. So she don't even give you no information. You run into her, you in trouble. So I'm Tracey L. This is AV Entry Point of View, and this is Corporal Linder. Thank you for coming, Christina Linder.